Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Well, time for a fact that makes your brain go. There might be $1,000 waiting for you right now if you did something really bad to yourself. And you liked it. You liked doing this bad thing to yourself.
Oh, my goodness. This is a wormhole.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. One of our listeners guessed it, at least on the text line. A lot of people guessed a lot of random things with food, like Kenzie guessed trying out new products first. Case also in a similar vein, but it was with green Fanta.
Yeah, I feel like they owe me money for having to digest that.
All y'all are wrong. But one of our listeners says he got $48 of this class action lawsuit, which was the JUUL class action lawsuit. The vaping product JUUL, the e-cigarette.
They meant Osco. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, no, JUUL. JUUL.
Oh.
No, listen, JUUL's fried chicken is on point. There's no lawsuits going on there.
Good to know.
The JUUL e-cigarettes settled a class action lawsuit a while back to pay $300 million in damages for not being honest about how addictive and unsafe their product was. So payouts go like this. And one of our listeners checked in here, 224. He got $48. So that's not bad. But it goes up to $1,000. Some people are getting $1,000. Here's how it's determined. It depends on how many vape pods you bought between 2015 and 2022 when they pulled it off the shelves. Mm-hmm. Whether you could prove it or not, I guess. So I don't know why you couldn't just say, I bought 1 million of them. Yeah, I went through 1 million. Vapors are freaking out on social media about it because they're just getting a Venmo transfer of it. And some people
getting Venmo'd by JUUL?
If you apply for it, you give your Venmo tag.
And where is the application?
Well, that's the thing. I don't understand why. Do you have to have receipts on buying the JUUL and also the pods? Because it says you didn't have to guarantee how many pods you bought.
I'm just going to take a selfie of me laying on the floor with my tongue out. Like, I had one.
Yeah.
Help me.
Up to $1,000 refund.
But how do they know how much each individual person should get?
It says that because on the more you bought, the more you get. But I mean, again,
I bought so many.
Yeah. So the JUULs are gone, and but get what you want. If you guys use that product, the JUUL.
Whoa.
I don't know if it's too late to apply.
773 just texted in and said their coworker got $650 from that lawsuit.
$650. Because I do everyone that comes around because Illinois has the most with like Facebook for using your profile picture. Megan got, I think, $200 for that.
That's a little walking around money.
Oh,
buy yourself something nice, a little window shopping, huh?
Yeah.
But like, what happened where she got $200? Because I'm on Facebook in this city.
So
I got nothing.
There was a time window for the Facebook lawsuit, if I remember correctly, that if you can prove you uploaded a new profile picture on your Facebook page at a certain time when Facebook was stealing those pictures and using them for advertising Facebook, because there was a privacy thing in the code that said they couldn't do that you got to pay out. And you had to prove when your profile picture was uploaded.
Interesting.
Yeah, and she could prove it. I couldn't.
Yeah.
So
you didn't change yours for like 14 years. I made a comment about it when I started here.
That's the lesson, that you should change it often.
Yeah.
You change your profile picture often.
Money.
Could have made some paper there. I'm just trying to think. I don't even know what your guys' profile pictures on Facebook look like.
Well, I will tell you what. I was just scrolling Facebook and an ad came up. Now, it wasn't a Facebook ad. It was a different company. They are using my picture.
Well, then you can get money probably.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm not trying to like rock this company's boat because it's not like it's not like McDonald's, right? That I would say something. It's kind of like, it's a local farm, like a Christmas farm.
Oh.
And I took like a picture there with my husband, but they're using my husband and I's picture as like the lead thing to like buy tickets. And I'm like, I'm not mad, but I'm also like, could have thrown us a free tree or something. I mean,
trees are not a joke anymore. They're expensive.
Like, you could have done something. Could I gotten like a hot chocolate when I was there?
Did you sign a release form for the picture?
No. I just stumbled across. Well, I kept getting tagged in it. They're like, hey. And I'm like, hey.
So Chris checked in from 773 from Jefferson Park. I got a $1,400 refund from LA Tan for using the thumb scanner.
Oh, I don't want LA Tan having my DNA. That feels like it was a worthwhile refund.
I don't think a thumb scanner counts as a DNA. It's not a thumb pricker.
I don't know. They probably got your thumbprint now, so if you commit a crime, LA Tan could turn you in. That feels like a violation of privacy.
That's like those DNA companies. I'm not playing with them. People have gotten arrested after taking those tests. Absolutely not.
I don't like the DNA companies. I don't like any sort of facial recognition technology. I don't even let my phone unlock from my face. That's very bad. Everybody stop doing that. Big tech cannot have your face on lock.
Do you know how easy it is to get in the DraftKings when you have that facial recognition thing?
There's a helpline for you, Brian.
What is DraftKings going to do with my face?
I don't want to know. But the problem is that they're making it too easy for you to use DraftKings.
That's right. I want to bet.
You should have a password you don't remember for
No.
DraftKings. For sure.
I want to bet now. Use my face.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. You may have problems on Facebook or Instagram today. Is anybody noticing anything yet? Is everything working okay? Everybody's fine?
Why?
Might be some lag, might be some crashes, because Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, laid off a bunch of people this week.
Oh, no.
I hate that when I hear about people getting laid off
Me too.
in any business, because it's just, somebody, they have billions and billions of dollars. There's got to be a way to keep everybody. And companies will keep going through things and saying, well, we can get rid of someone before the holidays. That's great. So Meta fired, they're not saying exactly how many people from its Los Angeles office. But the reasoning wasn't budget cuts or, AI, which seems to be a big example of, we're laying them off because we use AI now. They're laying off these people because employees at Meta, at Facebook, boy, do they have a great situation over there. They get free lunches because they have an incredible cafeteria at the headquarters in some of the bigger offices where they can just go down and eat and get free. And this is gourmet food. Not, this isn't a cheese melt, which I would like a cheese melt, but they get excellent food because they work so many hours at Facebook and Instagram, and they just, I'm not saying they're driving them into the ground there, but they certainly get free meals. They get great perks to keep the best people at the company. But they laid off a bunch of people because some people that work at some of the other locations don't have this awesome cafeteria. Mm-hmm. So they give them stipends. They give them meal vouchers, $20 for breakfast and $25 each. Not even done. $25 each for lunch and dinner.
They got what? All 3 meals?
I got Kenzie's attention, Case. You see that?
Very much so.
I know they're layoffs, but are they hiring?
So they get $75 a day for meal vouchers to eat because they don't work at the corporate with the cafeteria to get the free food there. So you think they could go to Chipotle or something or Wendy's?
That's even better. You can go wherever you want.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd rather go where I want to eat with the money.
Oh, my God.
But they discovered that some of these employees, and some of them, by the way, make $400,000 a year in the tech department there. That's the average salary, I believe, at Facebook. Because they discovered they weren't using them for food. Some people were using them for things like acne pads. Some people bought wine glasses with their meal vouchers.
How do you do that with a meal voucher? Because they're just giving you money?
I guess it's just basically probably like a Visa gift card with $25 on it.
I've never used a Chipotle gift card like CVS. I don't know.
It's a generic money card to use for whatever. And I don't even, somehow they found these people were using it for not meal things. So they fired them. So many of these people lost a $400,000 a year job because they used $20 at Walgreens to buy zip pads.
Not a good choice in retrospect,
Not a good choice, but also I'm trying to wonder, and this goes to earlier conversations about facial recognition and how everybody knows what you're doing all the time. If they gave them a meal voucher, how did they track that they used it on not meals? I don't know. It doesn't really explain that in the story.
I don't know if you had to turn in receipts.
It doesn't look like it. But again, I don't know. Maybe that's probably how it did it. But I don't know if
This is very like Friday energy. Like, how'd you get fired on your day off?
Right.
What happened here?
And also, if they bought $20, let's say, in zip pads, that saved them $20 in their other money to buy food. So in essence, they still are buying food with that $20.
Wow, you should have been a lawyer.
Yeah, it's called girl math.
So you got me there, Brian.
I mean, that's what I don't get it. Like, how did they just want to get rid of these people they were just waiting for a reason to fire them and they found it?
Do you think if they would have eaten their zip pads, they would have been able to save their jobs? They would have been like, no, I actually like munching on these.
Like, it'd be like if I bought batteries and sucked at them like I used to.
Yeah, if I bought pens, I love chewing on pens. What if I just went, one down the gullet? I'd be like, no, I still work here. I'm good.
I'd be like, listen, you're never going to believe this. It was actually food, and I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
I have a problem. Give me some time off so I can fix it.
Yeah, I don't think this is fair to have to bring up in front of everybody.
It's weird. But therefore, some of these people that used to work at Facebook and Instagram and run it for you, they're not there today. Could be some glitches.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. One of a post from a crew member was sent in to us, a question, if you will, about behavior when your in-laws come over your house. So she's asking, is she an a-hole in this situation for what she did? And there's a plot twist to get to the end. So stay with us here as I read this. Came from
Okay.
one of our great listeners
now,
here.
This is coming from the girl, and she's asking if she an a-hole for doing something to her in-laws?
Correct. And you'll see what happened here. And so it is a woman. I'm not giving her name, but it's a woman.
Okay.
She says, my husband's parents came to stay with us for the week. They live about 2.5 hours away in Wisconsin. I sleep in shorts and a tank top. That's important information. Moving forward.
Got it. I first thought was great, good for you. So I get, okay, it ties in.
Yep, shorts and a tank top. Well, this morning I woke up and made some coffee and sat down at the table to drink it. It's her house, by the way. Soon after, my father-in-law came in and got himself a cup and sat across from me. We were having a nice little conversation about how the family is, etc. A few minutes passed, and my mother-in-law came in and got her coffee and sat down next to her husband. She started staring me down. ... After a minute, she hatefully asked if I liked having my boobs out all in front of her husband.
What?
Again, wearing a tank top and shorts. She said I was mortified, and in a pissed-off reaction, I told her, it's an effing tank top. If I wanted to show my boobs, I would just do this. And she pulled up her tank top and flashed her bare breast to her father-in-law.
What?
Feisty girl.
Apt description, Brian. Well done.
A little feisty.
That's weird.
Yeah. Now imagine going from 0 to 10. That's how she reacted.
That's not even 10. That's a go. I don't know what number that is, but it's very high.
So she continues, I immediately realized what I did and got insanely embarrassed and hightailed it to my room because it's their house. I instantly heard to the guest room and in a few minutes heard the suitcases being wheeled down the hallway.
Yeah.
They were leaving.
That tracks.
And then the front door slammed. I immediately called my husband crying because he wasn't home at this time. He'd already gone to work.
That's a tough phone call,
She called her husband crying, and he soon was crying too. crying from laughter, which is what I would have done too. I gotta be honest. I think that's awesome. She says, I feel terribly, but this lady has always torn me down. That's just a little inside information we didn't expect to get here. And has always been hateful towards me for no reason other than the fact that I took her little baby boy from her.
I think she's more worried about her husband getting taken based off the previous comments.
I know I went over the top crazy. She understands her behavior, self-aware. But she's been pushing me for over 20 years. So this wasn't, a 3-year relationship. This got married over 20 years at this point.
What?
Mm-hmm. I tried to call to apologize, but she won't take my call. Now, she's not even saying, is she an a-hole for this? She says, how big of an a-hole am I? She knows she was an a-hole in this move. Also, good for the father-in-law.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
That's nasty. Don't say that. That's
dessert
gross.
during breakfast, am I right?
That's nasty.
He's
That's weird.
sitting there dunking his donut in his Dunkin'.
No. You're supposed to look at that as like your daughter.
Yeah.
Is how you're supposed to view it. Don't do that. Blech.
I'm not doing it.
Incestual.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying good for him.
Nasty.
So, how much of an a-hole is she? Obviously, she knows that she did something wrong in the situation, went from 0 to 10 and did that. I think they could all possibly laugh at that later. But again, how she said that the mother-in-law's always been going after her, I don't know the details of that, but,
I think the mother-in-law sounds awful, and what a horrible thing to say. I don't think the next step is taking your shirt off and flashing your father-in-law. I don't think that's the next step, but I think she should have said something to her mother-in-law that was maybe snappy with her shirt on. I think a lot of attitude shirt on would have been super appropriate.
Something tells me it's not the first time she flashed somebody, possibly at a Metallica concert. I don't know. Just something tells me
We don't need to know what she was doing for Mardi Gras. That's none of our business. It's a different story.
Kind of leads to
How many beads are in her closet? Probably a lot.
a whole closet full of beads.
They just spill out.
Yeah.
The father-in-law sitting there throwing them the next time they come over.
Exactly. Do you know how angry you have to be to ragefully show someone your boobs? I've never been that angry before.
That'd be like you dropping your
boobs to
pants.
show?
Yeah. I'm so mad. I'm just gonna drop. I'm just gonna drop my pants. That's so funny to think about.
It is a weird thing.
I feel like flashing normally takes place in a happy scenario. It would never be my go-to reaction.
Yeah, I've never been bummed when I've been flashed. I've never been like, oh man, that sucked.
Yeah, rage flashing.
No one's in a weirder position, no one, than the dad, though. because his wife's mad that his daughter-in-law shows him her boobs. Like, this is I came in here for coffee. Like, this is, I don't know. I don't know what to do with what's happening. Wife's still mad.
So Michael
Your son's mad at you because you saw his wife's boobs. It's a lot.
Michael just checked in from Maryville, and he said, he's giving his son a fist bump next Thanksgiving.
A proud father and son right there. And what sucks is that the wife who was mad at the in-law is now going to be mad at her husband, and it's not like he asked to see her boobs. He was an innocent bystander in a rage-flashing incident, and now he's going to get in trouble, and that's not right.
No, it isn't.
Innocent boob stander.
Innocent boob stander. Well done, Kenzie.
Thank
Give
you.
yourself a round of applause.
Unless he's known this girl for 20 years. He knew that was going to be the reaction at some point.
This is definitely the first flash.
I just weird. Like, when I'm over someone else's house, like, I sleep in underwear. But when I'm over someone else's house where there's, obviously women there, I put on sweatpants and a hoodie. That's what I sleep in, because I'm kind of like Ben Stiller in Meet the Parents when he comes downstairs in the pajamas, the baggy pajamas. Someone got a visit from the hair fairy.
I know. I will say, whenever I'm around my in-laws, I feel like I'm not allowed to have a body. I'm like, well, it's just... I was going to go downstairs with my snow pants. And it's just different. I would dress trashier at a Catholic school than I would in front of my in-laws.
They're like, where are you going, snowboarding?
Exactly, all the time.
Check in with your opinion on this. Want to hear your voices on this. 312-591-8300. Call to get in on this. We'll hold off on the Ticket Blitz Thursday for a few minutes. I want to get your calls on this first, and then we'll get you on the phones for the Nathaniel Rate Lift tickets. So 312-591-8300.
I can say as a woman, I do know how frustrating it is, though, when you're wearing something normal and someone tells you you're dressed trashy. It's one thing if you're like, well, obviously I'm horror nurse for Halloween. I know what I'm getting into. But it's very frustrating. I'll never forget when I first got with my husband. We were like posting a video, and I was a dress, but it was like a tank top, like top of a dress.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I'm aware of those.
And so this is that. And whatever. I was literally wearing a dress that went past my knees, but it was tank top style. And a woman wrote on the video, "You should be ashamed of yourself. He has a son. What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, I'm in a normal dress. Like, she made me feel like trash because I didn't have my boobs duct taped to my chest. And it really is so aggravating.
Well, that's another look, by the way. The
Sorry.
duct tape boob look.
Sorry about it. And so that does happen where you're just, but I didn't flash her after.
Yeah, you held your ground.
Yeah, no, I said mean things.
312-591-8300. What do you think? Who's the a-hole? How much of an a-hole is she? She thinks she's a bad person in a way, trying to apologize, but the mother-in-law, the monster-in-law, some people are texting in. Check in with us.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. 312-591-8300. We're doing a crew member read, and she's asking if she is an a-hole. Actually, how much of an a-hole she is. She's actually asking that because she knows she did something, I believe she feels she did something wrong to a mother-in-law that didn't like her. She flashed her father-in-law while having coffee because the mother-in-law said, "Your boobs are out," with just wearing a tank top. And she goes, no, this is my boobs out, and flashed the father-in-law, innocent bystander in the situation.
In fairness, she was just trying to she was giving an example of what it would look like.
Correct. It was a rage flash, which is very weird. And it's an incredible situation, and very confident girl. And most people, Kenzie, I don't know what you see on the text line, some calls we'll get to in a second, but I think are defending the daughter-in-law and saying that the mother-in-law sounds like she pushed her to the edge.
Oh,
and she
hell
did,
yeah.
She did something really weird with the rage flash.
It was an odd response, but also like, F off. You know what I mean? You suck.
Yeah. Tony checked in. He said, "I have an opposite story of my mother-in-law wearing the tank top and shorts." Which is really weird, he says, LOL. Doesn't tell more of the story, like maybe she flashed him or just walked around with a revealing outfit on.
I think he finds his mother-in-law attractive and it makes him uncomfortable. Is what it
Hey,
sounds like.
They always say when you're with somebody there,
They'll look like their mother.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I have a really pretty mom, and everybody, I know, I really do. I have a super hot mom.
Case jumped in too quick there.
You know what?
It really does not affect me. You have no idea what I experienced my whole life.
Before you finish, Kenzie, I was once going through Q101 Facebook comments and saw a woman comment and went, "Whoa, who's that?" And then I realized it was Kenzie's mom.
Yes. No, I spent my whole life Listen, at least I got to a point where I'm like, cool, I'm in my 20s. I'm out of an awkward stage. Like, people can also find me attractive. But when you're going through your awkward, like, 13-year-old stage with braces, and then there's a rumor at school that your mom's a Playboy model, it sucks. No one wants to, like, date you. It's not good.
Wait, she wasn't though, right?
No, but the problem was...
Would have been cool if she was.
I might have that issue.
Brian, check your archives.
So this is the kind of house that I lived in. My mom gave my dad sexy photos dressed in his favorite like team's jerseys, but my dad hung them like in the family room, and like they were just on the wall, like framed.
Yeah.
And so people would come over and they thought it was like from a magazine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's just on our wall.
Yeah.
So my mom gave it to my dad. That was our decor in the house.
So back in the day, I hung like Sports Illustrated swimsuit
Very
model
similar.
posters on my bedroom wall, but they weren't in the family room, all the wood paneling there.
Yeah, no, it was nice frames.
Oh, very nice.
Frames. It looked official.
It was classy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex is checking in. Alex Ahoy, what's up?
Hello?
Hello. What's your take on the situation? Can you hear me, Alex?
Hi.
Yes. What's your take on the situation, Alex?
So my question is more of like a larger question because she says that she's been experiencing like the terror of the mother-in-law for 20 years. Why has her husband never addressed the mom's like essentially like toxic behavior towards his wife that she felt to respond in such an extreme way? I don't think she's like truly like the asshole. It was like an enraged moment. Sorry, a-hole.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, my apologies.
That's okay. That's okay.
You know, like her response to it is really just a trigger of like several years of torture that she's experienced with her. So it's more of, I'm really curious as to why the husband has never stepped in for his wife. And unfortunately, the wife doesn't help her situation because she just flashed her father-in-law.
Yeah, that didn't help. It's not going to help. It's not going to help the relationship, girl.
It doesn't help her choice. And, like, there's something that we say to each, like, in my family. It's like, don't give people a reason.
Yeah.
Like, she literally just gave her mother-in-law a reason to just go and say, like, you know, this is why your wife is terrible, and say all these things about her, and it's not a good look for her.
Yeah.
I want to defend the husband because we don't know that side of the story. So I'm going to half glass full the husband. Based on the fact that when she told him, he laughed.
Yes.
Makes me think that he doesn't defend his mom all the time. And also, the husband wasn't there, so maybe the mom was on her BS because the husband wasn't there to check her. Mm-hmm. Potentially. I'm hoping that he has.
We don't know him.
I want to give him benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
The laughing
Yeah.
and the fact that he wasn't there, so maybe she pushed it. I'm going to hope that he does check her.
847 checked in, said, I know her pain. My mom was a stripper.
Oh.
Wait, what? My pain? Hey, my mom was not a stripper. My pain?
No, I know, but she knows your pain because her mom must have been hot.
I
is
know.
what she's saying.
It's tough, man. Hot moms is like a whole.
No one talks about it.
No one cares.
Underrepresented group of trauma is people with hot moms.
You don't even understand what I've been through.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
Also, Tony checked back in, the guy who had the mother-in-law wearing tank top and shorts.
Yeah.
He said, we have a family lake house together. My wife always yells at me to stop staring at her mom.
See? You don't know what it's like.
No, I don't know.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. About 10 minutes away, we're getting into sports, but we'll have Chicago Wolves tickets for the Halloween game this Saturday at the Allstate Arena. Coming up in about 10 minutes in Clash with Kenzie.
The Q101 Morning Crew. Sports.
So the Chicago Bulls, your Chicago Bulls, opened the season last night.
Yay.
And they lost.
Oh.
123 to 111
No.
to the Pelicans. Now,
They're supposed to win 27?
they're 27.5 is the over-under to bet on wins. They won 39 last year, and it's 27.5 win total this year is what they're predicted on a lot of the betting sites.
All right. They have not contributed to that yet.
No, they haven't. Well, they have in a way, the loss.
Well, I was hoping they would like blow that record away and they'd get way more than 27.5.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah, we're going to get to the antenna discussion in a second. But first off, because thanks to Twitter, here's Lonzo Ball making a three-pointer Welcome back, Lonzo Ball.
White, the in and out against Hawkins, picked up by Misi. Lonzo Ball fires and connects.
Oh, the big baller.
The big baller, Stacey King.
See?
So that's
Way to go. Nothing but net, baby.
You can watch games on Twitter. That was Lonzo Ball, of course, returning for the first time in 1,000 days to play basketball in a regular season game. But Harper, my child who's almost 2, still hasn't seen Lonzo Ball play basketball because she's sick yesterday. She fell asleep on me for a couple hours, and I couldn't get the antenna up that I bought from Amazon, the antenna to hook to the TV so I can get the Chicago Sports Network. And therefore, I just watched the Sixers-Bucks game instead because you know what? YouTube TV, you just flip this remote thing and turn it to a channel, and the TV comes on and the game's on there.
So what do you mean you couldn't do it? Like you couldn't get the antenna to like stay on your TV or something?
I didn't even have time to hook it up.
Oh, you didn't even try to hook it up?
I didn't even try. That's the problem.
I imagine it like kept falling off or something.
No. Now, Case, the producer, had an antenna, and like some other listeners.
Did you buy an antenna too?
I've had an antenna.
Oh, you've had an antenna the whole time?
Yeah.
Why haven't you been watching?
Why have I been watching what, the Bulls? Because it was the first game of the year.
No, like all their stuff.
The channel's brand new.
Right, but there's been
Blackhawks games. Yeah, there has. I've been busy.
Okay. We didn't have to make me sound stupid.
Well-
There's Blackhawk games.
Well, here's the real problem is that Case still couldn't get the Chicago Sports Network over the antenna. So it's 62-1 and 62-2 or 62-3.
this is
How
the
is
start
that
of the
possible?
problem.
What do you mean it's 62-1? What number is that?
So when you
like 621?
62.1, 62.2, when you go to an HD antenna, Kenzie, it looks kind of like this.
Like radio stations?
It looks a little bit like that. With the HD channels are like that. It's very unusual. This is why it's stupid to use an antenna, you see, in 2024. Now, a lot of our listeners out there have preached that it's great because it's free, and I get that. If you do that, perfect. Love you. Awesome that you got it all taken care of. Case, though, got a little thread here on our Facebook page yesterday of saying, thank you, everyone who's telling me to rescan. I understand that. You know what I don't have to rescan? YouTube TV. A snarky comment from Case yesterday.
I thought this was your post, Brian.
No, this was me. Let me paint the picture of what happens. Because, as much as I love our Chicago White Sox, and I'm obviously a huge Bears fan, I like the Blackhawks, even though I've been busy this year and I haven't been able to see their games yet. I'm a basketball guy. So I get home from work yesterday. I'm all excited. 6 o'clock comes around. Oh, tip-off's in 1 hour. Gonna watch the pregame show. I hear a little Alan Parsons Project music in my head. Bulls season. Gonna be optimistic. Looking forward to this. Let me go plug in my antenna because I haven't used it since I moved into my apartment with my girlfriend. And so...
Wait, you have a girlfriend?
I do. I live with her in this apartment. A lot of things going on in Uptown.
You still talking to?
So I go to plug in this antenna. Of course, because it's an antenna, it takes about 15 minutes to scan for all the channels that are available. When it finally scans, I see WGN on the TV. I go, wow, Ray Cortopassi looks good tonight. WGN is coming crystal clear. I can't wait to flip over to the Chicago Sports Network and watch my Chicago Bulls in action in a hot season opener. And then I'm scrolling, and I'm going through Guide, and I see the Rockford Files are on. Love the Rockford Files. Yeah, no, it's a good night.
Side note, we wouldn't have The Sopranos if it wasn't for that TV show, The Rockford Files.
What's the Rockford Files?
It's a show from the 70s, 80s that David Chase, who produced The Sopranos, created it.
Oh, it's not like anything to do with Rockford,
Illinois.
No.
No.
I thought it was like their local news or something.
I unnecessarily know too much about this show. The guy's name on the show was Jim Rockford.
I see.
Anyway, let's not get on a Rockford Files sidebar here.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought I was like, you love Rockford, like local Rockford news?
That was a very genuine, honest question.
I'm serious. I was like, oh, wow.
It sounds like
What?
it sounds like cops for Rockford.
I know.
The Rockford
I was
Files.
like, wow, you are invested.
No. I've got a channel called Get TV that is showing the Rockford Files. I've got Univision, which I'm a Televisa guy if I'm going to watch Spanish TV. So Univision did me no good.
Okay, I like you.
Good Lord.
I've got Grit TV, which is showing old Westerns. I have no Chicago Sports Network. And so I go on Facebook to complain about this, and everybody wants to antenna-splain me. They want to tell me what I'm doing wrong, like I've never used an antenna before. I got people telling me, oh, Case, it's easy. You gotta rescan. I've already rescanned. It's still not there. I've got people telling me, oh, Case, it's easy. Point your antenna at the Sears Tower. How would I find the Sears Tower?
Google Maps.
What are we doing here? It's
Kenzie's right.
2024. The Dallas Mavericks, another NBA team, just launched a free streaming service so everybody could watch their team's games.
Yep.
Streaming being the optimum word. I can't find the GD Chicago Sports Network, and thus I can't support a team that is going to torture me for another 81 games as it is anyways.
Kenzie, on Facebook, when Case went off on people coming at him and tennis-splaining to him. For example,
this is why I thought it was you, because you get so pissy.
Oh, I get pissy, but I had a sick baby to tend to. So Case put that post up about, why not YouTube TV? And a guy named Wes said, you'd rather pay a monthly fee than scan once? LOL. Boomer alert. And then Case defended himself by saying, defending antennas is boomer behavior. Wes replied, not as much as paying $79 a month for no reason. Maybe call YouTube TV on your landline or typewrite a strongly worded letter and fasten it to a carrier pigeon to complain.
Oh my God.
I love Wes. I love
Case is like, hey, you're banned from Facebook. We're like, you're going off on people. I thought it was Brian. And I'm like, well, this is Brian. I didn't know you're getting crabby now.
Kenzie,
What?
I was livid last night. And
I know. You were so angry. I thought you were Brian.
It's not because I couldn't find the channel. I expected Jerry Reinsdorf and his incompetent regional sports network to be awful, to have an awful experience trying to find the game. But I'm disappointed in our listeners that wanted me to point my antenna at the Sears Tower or stick my head out the window like a dog in a Subaru to try to get this channel.
So Eddie checked in from Elmwood Park, and he said, so Case can't find the tallest building in Chicago.
And in fairness, you don't put your head outside of the window. You can use windows are see-through.
I'm not
Indiana.
No, hold on. I'm not Indiana Jones. I don't just have this ability to figure out where the Sears Tower is directly in relation to where I'm at.
Eddie in Elmwood Park, these are the struggles I have every day with trying to have Case find the Sears Tower outside our window.
And I don't know if Indiana Jones is good at finding buildings. I don't know if that's a good poll.
He's got a compass.
Well,
I don't.
You have one on your phone. Your iPhone has a compass.
I doubt it.
Since you're Mr.
need
Technology.
Oh, hold on. My phone doesn't have a compass.
Yes, it does.
you are like Lewis. It does have a compass. You are like Lewis and Clark. You need a Sacagawea to the Sears Tower.
Case, the front
No,
folder
my
there.
phone doesn't have that. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I don't have a compass on my phone.
Yes,
Go
you
to
do.
utilities.
It doesn't seem like something I have.
Utilities
You have a
has
phone
a
and you're
compass.
No, I
refusing-
actually have the newer phone. It doesn't have that.
It has a
only an
compass.
idiot would use a compass. No way.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.